Welcome to the IAB Measurement Field sub-series. Today we are diving into the predictive audience topic. My name is Ivan Yuen. I'm the Expertise and Innovation Manager at 55. Before talking about prediction, I just want to talk about the purpose of prediction, which is personalization. Since COVID-19, consumers are so used to digital behavior like brand engagement and purchases. According to a research from McKinsey, the companies that excels at personalization generate 40% more revenue comparing to other average players. So the question is not whether if we should do personalization. Everyone knows that we should do personalization. But how to do that? Because this is the biggest question. To talk about personalization, we need to give them a definition. And there are many definitions out there, but I really like this one a lot. This is called delivering the right message to the right people at the right time. Today, we are focusing on the part of right people in the middle. Because if you cannot segment the users correctly, you cannot customize different marketing tactics to maximize your performance. So the question is how to segment my users into different groups for activations. How do you do this correctly? This is the key. There are two types of segmentation methods here. The first one is the traditional rule-based audience. And there's also a new type of segmentation, which is called predictive audience powered by machine learning. We will go through them one by one in this presentation. To start with rule-based segmentation, let's use a classic textbook example, which is called cart abandoner. There are lots of different users went to your e-commerce website. Some of them add items to the shopping cart, but they didn't check out. So you create a rule-based audience to target these people who perform add to cart event, but without any transactions. At the end, some user from this audience come back to finish the purchase and increase your ROI. So this is a very classic example which makes sure you prioritize your audience engagement with important users and improve your ROI as a whole. With the help of machine learning, we can leverage AI to find the relationship between engagement signals and your KPIs such as purchase and lifetime value. We can ingest a lot of different signals here like sign-ups, add to cart, and visit frequency, as well as your KPI like purchase or revenue into your model. The model will try to find out the correlation between each signal against your KPI. In this example, the add to cart interaction shows the highest correlation with purchase. So this is very valuable insights, but how do we make use of these to increase your targeting efficiency? Once the model is trained, we can predict the user or customer purchase probability of life or even lifetime value based on their previous engagement signals. In this example, the lady comes with 80% of purchase probability, comparing to 10% of the gentleman below. The predictive lifetime value is also much higher for the lady comparing to the man below. So we can focus our marketing budgets on these high value customer, which is the lady here, to increase the overall conversion rate and return on investment. The activation approach is similar to the rule-based approach that we mentioned before, but the model is introducing a lot more signals to increase segmentation accuracy. So now you have a basic understanding between these two types of segmentation method. So let's do a quick comparison between them. In terms of audience definition, rule-based audience is always experience-driven since you decide the criteria manually. This is very quick, but it can also introduce human bias when the context changes. On the other hand, predictive audience is based on your historical data to give you a more accurate definition of audience. So it is always data-driven. In terms of segmentation criteria, rule-based audience is a bit more limited because manual operation is always involved. It's hard to maintain like 20 different criteria in a single audience. But for predictive audience, you can always include even more criteria because the model will calculate the correlation for you. So you don't have to worry about how many signals you should include in the model. And that comes to the ease of use in this table as well. Again, rule-based audience is limited in this area because it's not easy to manage a huge amount of criteria and a lot of different audiences. But using predictive audience, you can break down the audience by only one or two criteria, such as the conversion probability or lifetime value, which is far more easy to break down into granular segments. As of this point, you should understand why predictive audience is very useful. But your question should be, how should I kickstart? If you have limited resources and just starting out, try the on-shelf prediction feature from analytics or advertising platforms. Many of them often require very little setup time, but of course, you also have the drawback with no flexibility of choosing which signals to include. And very often, this is a black box model, so you cannot customize it. But if you have more resources or you want to be more advanced, you can customize your model in cloud platforms or in some data platforms like customer data platform. Many of them offer flexibility and control to customize your model, such as which signals to include or different parameters that you can change within your model. Once you start this journey, then you will improve your model over time. For example, adding new data sources and scale your activation channels to multiple online and offline channels. At this stage, you will make the best use of the predictive audience and become the best in industry. So I hope that gives you a very brief introduction to predictive audiences. Don't forget to share any comments or suggestions to us by using this QR code. Thank you very much.